Hi babes, welcome to the show. So lately I have been talking a lot about love, and I want to take a moment to acknowledge how challenging this journey can be. Love, dating, and relationships. Everyone's love story is different. Many of you watched my love story or one of my love stories on Love is Blind, season 1. If you're new here, I was on reality TV, Love is Blind season 1. But that wasn't the only story of love, dating, and relationships. And so I want to kind of dive into a little bit of that. So let me talk about that. You know, what worked for someone might not work for you when it comes to love, dating, and relationships. And vice versa. But as much as we might compare where we are to where others seem to be, we all start somewhere. And the important part is that we're willing to begin. And sometimes that means beginning again. Oftentimes we find ourselves maybe in a relationship and the relationship ends, whether it's your decision or the other person's decision, and you feel lost, you feel disconnected, you feel like you failed. Perhaps it's like a marriage, right? And you're like going through a divorce and you're like, marriage failed. You know, a lot of people associate that phrase, I guess, that word with it. But it could just be dating and relationships. Like, I'm failing at dating. I'm failing at relationships. Like, the person won't commit. I can't seem to actually, have a committed relationship. So many of us go through things like that. So today I want to get a little personal with you. Just a short little blurb based on previous experience when it comes to love, dating, and relationships for me. And maybe some of y'all can relate to this. I hope that my hope when I share stories is that you do relate and you feel less alone in your journey. So, in 2013, I went through a very difficult breakup. It's literally my last serious long-term relationship. So we're going on 12 years that I have not been in a committed, serious relationship. Whew, that sounds wild to think about, because it feels sometimes like it was just yesterday. But it rocked me. And many of y'all may be thinking, yeah, but you were engaged on TV. But I only knew that person for 8 weeks. So 8 weeks. Yes, there was the engagement and walking down the aisle and the whole 9 yards. But at the end of the day, I only knew that person for 8 weeks. So this, the people that I've dated in the past and or have been in relationships with, it's actually, I've known that person for years. So, I don't know. But anyways, the devastation, I guess the grief behind it was pretty heavy. And it rocked me. So looking back, I realized how much I had actually lost myself in that relationship, but even more so when it ended. And this is really important to hear and understand, because I feel like so many of us, everyone does things differently after a breakup. They may jump into another relationship because someone else is giving them attention, right? Or they are single as a Pringle. They're like, I'm done with dating, and they write off dating and everything romantic for years to come. So for years after, I was binge drinking my face off. I don't know who can relate to that. But I was binge drinking. I would say Thursday through Sunday sometimes. And I say for years because it felt like it was every weekend. I was just on autopilot. I was I've always been super health conscious, but during the week, Monday through Thursday or Monday through Friday afternoon, super health conscious. I'd get up, I'd work out. I used to teach spin classes. And then I would come home and I would, whether it be coaching or working on playlists, or maybe at the time, earlier in the time, I may have been doing liquor promotions, or, just I always had side hustles. I always had side hustles. So with that, then there was the weekend came along, and I just wanted to disconnect. That was my biggest thing. I just wanted to disconnect. And although I wasn't intentionally, that wasn't what I was saying out loud, but it was what I was doing. I was unconsciously disconnecting from self. I didn't know who I was. I didn't really know who I was. And especially, like I said, after that relationship ended, that's when I was more so losing myself. So yeah, I was like binge drinking every weekend. It was affecting my career, my health, relationships, everything. And when, you guys may know about my story of my health, I had actually I've always been about this, this body frame and everything. And quick snippet on the health thing, I was under eating. I started under eating in 2014, literally right after this breakup happened, because we had talked about me doing bikini competitions and things like that. And so I don't know, I think subconsciously, unconsciously, I had this thought that, oh, maybe if I get in ridiculous shape that this person would want me back. That's what our brain does, right? This, and to back up a little bit, this is a relationship before Love is Blind, years before Love is Blind. So anyways, I forgive myself for my part in it and all the things too. But anyways, yeah, it was just a really bad breakup. But so I was still binge drinking, but I was under eating, excessively working out. I lost weight. I saw 99 pounds on my scale, which was crazy. Yeah, it was everyone was very, very concerned about me and my health. But then I started to gain a bunch of weight. So if you have seen my transformation pictures, I know, if you watch Love is Blind, you know that I have also transformed, my image a bit since being on the show. I am, it doesn't matter about weight and all that stuff, but just to go with the story, I was about 10 to 15 pounds heavier on the show when we were filming the show than I am currently, or, a few years ago even. But back in the day, I literally went, so from under eating, I weighed 99 pounds at one time. And then when I started to gain the weight, it's I saw it and I was wait, I've never weighed this much. Although it was only a few pounds more than I typically ever weighed. And then I started continuing to gain weight. So I went from 99 pounds to 137 pounds. So that's almost 40 pounds that I gained over a year span. That doesn't seem like a short period of time, but I don't know, as you get older, I swear to God, years seem like 5 weeks sometimes, or it feels like six months. But again, I had such and I was under eating still. It's a whole thing. I've done podcast episodes on this. This isn't about that, but it is about self-abandonment, and that's what I was doing. I was abandoning myself by under eating, obsessively working out, because I was doing it for the wrong reasons. And it was just a lot. It was a lot, and I was just still under eating. If people can roll their eyes and be what do you mean you gained weight but you weren't eating enough food? That doesn't make any sense. But your body can go into starvation mode, and that is exactly what what happened to me. My cortisol went crazy through the roof. And so as soon as I started to actually come back home to myself, eating a lot more food, working out less, meditation, going for walks, grounding, things doing grounding practices, then I started to lose the weight. So with that said, it's important that you guys know that information because I was still binge drinking. And so again, I was still disconnecting from myself and all of that. And this is the most important thing that I want y'all to get from this is for years after I was binge drinking, what seemed like every single weekend in a row, it was affecting my career, health, spirituality, relationships, everything. But I couldn't stop. It made me feel alive when everything else didn't. That's what I want you to remember. Because I feel like so many of you can resonate with that line right there. Again, it's self-abandonment, disconnecting, all the things. With that, I was losing myself in every guy I'd meet. Constantly chasing them, seeking love and validation, people pleasing at its finest. I mean, it was literally me going catching an eye from a guy and being oh, he's cute, she's cute. And us having a, romantic interaction and then me totally losing myself, getting so graspy, so needy, this anxious attachment style. Granted, I didn't know what that even was or meant back then, but I was so anxious and I just wanted someone to love me, because I'd been so rejected, right? So there's a lot of people pleasing. So I just kept losing myself though. So after that breakup, it was like one person after the other. And it was interesting, like even just a couple years ago, I was working with a therapist, and the woman, like, I don't know if y'all can imagine this, but like maybe like close your eyes and imagine this, but my therapist, she went to like each corner of the room, and like, you know, she was, I guess, imagining that there was like a guy in each corner of the room, and she would like walk up to him and be like, are you gonna love me? Are you gonna love me? No? Okay. And then like stomp, stomp, stomp. And then you find the other person in the other corner. You're like, wait, are you gonna love me? Oh, wait, no, you don't want me either. Okay. And then it's like you would stomp, 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 like temper tantrum kind of thing. And then you like go to the other corner and you're like, wait, you're giving me some attention? Oh my gosh, he must love me. They must like me. You're gonna love me? Are you gonna love me? And she was like, that's how you've been. Like, you're constantly just looking for the external love and validation. And so you keep attracting these men who are not like emotionally available. They're not committing to you. They're not available for commitment right now because the energy inside of you is so like chaotic and anxious about things. So anyways, all that to say, that was a really neat experience because I was like, wow, I'm still like, I've done a lot of deep inner work, but I'm still like experiencing some of this. So anyways, backing up a handful of years ago, again, losing myself in every guy that I would meet. Then I realized something really crucial. I have been focusing too much on finding the one and not enough on becoming the one. The kind of person I was meant to be in a deeply fulfilling relationship. And that's when everything started to shift for me, for the most part. It wasn't about searching outside myself anymore. And it really wasn't. Like when you start doing this like inner work, and like, even if you don't work with anyone, but you're just like journaling or you're meditating, you're visualizing, and you're just, you know, maybe reading personal development books or you're listening to empowering podcasts, like there's something that shifts within you. And you just start coming home to yourself, and you're not abandoning yourself maybe as much anymore as you used to. The people pleasing starts to kind of fade, but granted, you start to have more awareness. So when you are people pleasing, it is more in the forefront. Like you're like, oh shit, like this is what I'm doing. Like, oh my God, I'm acting like this. This is how I was behaving 2 years ago before I started therapy or before I started coaching work or this inner healing, or even before I started journaling, and just have the awareness around it. But again, it just became that I wasn't searching outside of myself anymore. And granted, the things start to come up. I mean, your healing journey is like, it is constant. You're always on a healing journey. I will say that. So, but you heal parts of it. You have to think of things like an onion. They always like use this as an analogy, but, so an onion has layers, right? And so you peel back some layers and you get this shift and you evolve and you transform and your life feels better. And then insert someone else or something, a challenge, a hardship, something, or a lesson per se. And you're like, crap, I thought I had healed from that already. Anyways, but then you take yourself and you're like, okay, well now there's just this another layer of awareness, and you peel back that little layer too. And you're like, okay, so you're just getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Anyways, so it was about healing, aligning, and stepping into my true worth. I'm sharing this because I want you to know that no one wakes up one day with everything figured out, especially when it comes to love. I am your true testament of that. Y'all have been following my journey for a while, especially if you've been watching me since the show or even before the show. And, I just want to reiterate that, it's like Valentine's is coming up, and, some people get just all up in their feels about Valentine's Day. Some people don't even celebrate it because they're like, it's made up holiday, it's stupid, blah, blah, blah. No one needs to celebrate love. Or maybe there's a lot of like, relationship wounds or trauma, family traumas, where they don't like, there's so much that goes into this, but like anxious attachment, avoidant attachment styles. And your avoidant attachment could be like a father wound or a mother wound growing up. And so you like avoid love. And although you may want it, like everyone wants to be loved, right? But you're like really avoidant and distracted. You're not committing, or you attract that type of person in. So it's just, so much can happen. And for Valentine's Day, I feel like I want to encourage you to use Valentine's Day as a time to connect with yourself and really start to be curious about who you are as a human being. Date yourself, love yourself, take yourself on a solo date. If you go out on Valentine's Day to dinner, kudos to you. I have done it before. It is the most empowering feeling that you will ever have. Like, you will feel so empowered to go just get dressed up and go to dinner, go to like a nice restaurant and take yourself on a solo date. It is the coolest thing. You just feel so good, and like, you're not on anyone else's timeline. I am a big advocate of solo adventures. So anyways, highly recommend, but it doesn't mean that you have to go on this journey alone though. And that's where I really want to like hone in on this. We don't have to figure it all out ourselves. Again, that's why I have worked with mindset coaches. That's why I've worked with relationship coaches. And along my self-love journey, I was introduced to these two individuals named Christine Hassler and Stefanos Stefandos. And really enjoyed I enjoyed what both of them were sharing, but I really honed into Stefanos. I don't know. I just was more aligned, I guess, or drawn to him. But they are a couple. They are a married partnership. And his words over the years have shifted things for me. They were powerful and healing. And I have had Stefanos on my podcast a couple of times now. We just know how to go really deep and, offer some guidance. And it really does. Like, he could say one thing and I swear to God, it like shifts everything for you. So anyways, Christine Hassler and Stefandos' wisdom and guidance have been incredibly influential in my healing journey and my relationship and love and dating and all the things journey. Christine herself is actually a renowned relationship expert and best-selling author with over 20 years of experience helping women break free from old patterns, heal emotional wounds, and create empowered, conscious relationships aligned with their true desires. I love that. Perhaps her best credential is meeting her now husband, Stefanos, and father of their daughter, after a divorce in her early 30s. So this woman had been married and in her 30s, got the divorce in her 40s, had their daughter, met the man of her dreams. They are this like power couple. They're incredible. They help people every single day. And I had to introduce them to you. Stefanos, on the other hand, has over 15 years of experience in the personal development space and has helped women overcome limiting patterns and cultivate a positive sense of self. Again, that's what he's helped me with. And perhaps his best credential is doing the inner work to transition himself from a non-committal Peter Pan to a man with deep integrity who was clear that he wanted to call in his queen. Okay, I want to say this. People always say like people can't change. This is a prime example. Okay, this man stepped up to the plate when he was in his Peter Pan era. People call it Peter Pan syndrome, where men that are like in their 30s and 40s and 50s, they are just like never growing up. They want to they're non-committal, and like everyone, again, it's more or less like an avoidant attachment style typically, because they do want love. They have romantic, intimate moments with people, but they just can't commit. So it's like Peter Pan syndrome. They're maybe probably like playboys at times and that kind of thing. So anyways, he did the deep work and he became the man who has that deep integrity, and started to just heal his shit. Right? Both of them have. And I'm on a very beautiful journey myself. Again, y'all have been following me for a little while now. You know that I really do this work. I have my own programs, but I love being a student myself. I think that we all, again, you're never fully healed. You're always on this journey. It's just like who you meet, who you attract, all of that. So anyways, Christine and Steph are hosting a free 3-day workshop that I am beyond excited to share with you. It's called Love Magnet. It is a 3-day workshop to stop settling and doubting and attract epic soulmate love. That's what I'm looking to call in. You know what? And I always say like, 2025 is my year. It's been my year for relationships for the last few years. But I will say the last few years, I have learned so many lessons. Like, yes, I've dated here and there over the last few years, but I've learned so many incredible things. And I love that maybe I wasn't ready yet to call in my my person, but I feel like I'm in such a good place right now. Like my career, podcast, business, fashion shows, speaking engagements. I'm getting my health on track this year too. I mean, I feel like I have always been healthy with some issues. So I feel like I'm just like really honing in on myself, and I really want to stop abandoning myself, because that is the energy that I apparently have been attracting still. So anyways, the Love Magnet Workshop is happening on February 11th, 12th, and 13th. Still time to register for that, from 2 to 3 p.m. Pacific time or 5 to 6 Eastern time. I will be attending this too, so you're not doing it alone. Again, guys, we don't have to do things alone, because as we all know, I am still on my journey too, as we just said. So let me tell you a little bit about this. In the workshop, you'll uncover the 5 types of relationships and see which one you're craving more right now. Let me break it down actually into like days of how this is going to work. So day 1 of the workshop is breaking through the blocks to lasting love. You'll start by getting clarity on your relationship journey, where you are, what you want, and what's standing in your way, all in a supportive, judgment-free space. That is a incredible place. Okay, y'all, like reflecting. You have to reflect in order to figure out like where you are and have the awareness to create the change. Awareness is the key to change. So with that being said, you'll discover the 5 types of relationships, including the one you've been yearning for, and learn to release the blocks preventing you from attracting your ideal partner. Plus, you'll bust the top 7 myths about love, freeing yourself from outdated beliefs and stepping confidently toward the love you desire. That is a really big thing too with love, dating, and relationships. Like again, there's like all the attachment styles and everything, but we have a lot of limiting beliefs. We have created stories in our head based on what we were told, what we saw, what we were showed, what was displayed to us growing up. Most of this stuff happened when most of our limiting beliefs happen between the ages of like 1 to 8 years old. Our subconscious mind is wide open during that time frame. So when people say like kids soak things up like a sponge, that is why, because the subconscious is wide open. The conscious mind has not really formed yet. And then as the conscious mind starts to form, that's why kids start to give pushback to their parents, because they can make their own decisions at that point. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. No. So anyways, we have created stories based on our own programming around love. There's also around like love, success, money, all kinds of things that we are conditioned over time for. But anyway, so this program, day 1, they are going to bust the top 7 myths about love. So that's going to be amazing. Day 2 is stepping into your queen energy. On day 2, you'll uncover your protective archetype. Patterns formed from childhood wounds, that may be blocking you from experiencing deep, lasting love. I'm telling you, this stuff, when you have the awareness, it changes everything. Next, you'll learn to embody your queen energy, shifting from old protective habits to a state of self-empowerment and magnetism that naturally attracts your ideal partner. Finally, through a guided healing process, you'll identify and resolve unmet childhood needs, release the patterns tied to them, and reprogram your heart to embrace self-love. By the end of the day, you'll feel ready to call in relationships that align with your highest self. Day 3, let go and call in your beloved. You'll release what no longer serves you and step fully into your feminine power to call in your beloved. The day begins with a guided breathwork practice to clear emotional blocks, heal past wounds, and open your heart to receiving love. Breathwork is one of my favorite somatic healing modalities. I tend to tell people that is one of the modalities that helped me to lose the last 10 pounds that I was trying to lose back in 2019. Literally, it was crazy. It felt like overnight, because we just hold on to a lot of emotional baggage. So it's really fascinating. Anyways, it really does clear blocks that you have. It's fascinating. The body keeps score. The body holds on to trauma and emotions and all of that. So the more that we can drop into our bodies and release and do somatic practices, the more open and expansive and our energy and everything, it just starts to vibrate at a higher frequency, and that's where our desires are. Next, you'll experience a life-changing embodiment practice, giving you a physical sense of what epic love feels like and creating a lasting shift in your energy and attraction point. You'll also receive practical tools and reminders to help you stay on track in your journey. By the end of day 3, you'll feel aligned, empowered, and ready to attract your true match. So the link for this is in my bio. You can also DM me Love Magnet, and I will send you the link to sign up. Again, we begin February 11th. It's through the 13th. Will you be totally healed by the end of 3 days? Probably not. You will receive shifts. You will receive awareness. You will have action steps in order to make changes so that you can start to attract the type of relationship that you want. And this doesn't just go to intimate, although this is, this workshop is geared towards romantic relationships. You have to think about this when relationships is a relationship. So maybe this actually is a catalyst for like a health awakening or a spiritual awakening, or, having a better relationship with your family members or friendships or colleagues. But ultimately it's calling in the love that you really want, because right now, obviously, we're all in the same boat that we haven't attracted that yet. So, and maybe, maybe you're single, maybe you're actually dating, or perhaps you're in a relationship or you're married. This workshop actually will just take you deeper. It will help you connect with your partner even more. So I highly suggest registering no matter what your relationship status is, and you can have a really incredible relationship, and you could do this workshop and it could also like enhance your current relationship. So it is definitely for everybody. And then at the end of the 3 days, they will open up spots for the Be the Queen program. And this Be the Queen is basically like a 3 to 6 month program where you will have like one-on-one coaching with Christine and Steph. You'll have group coaching. You'll have access to a Facebook group for additional support. You have a whole digital course that you go through, love work, which is like homework, where you will actually be applying a lot of the things like you'll be doing. Like the thing about making change, like you have to do something, right? Like, people have such like a thing about like manifestation, right? They're like, you can't just like think something into the air and go sit on your couch. Well, it's the same thing here. Like you have to do the work. You still have to do the work. So anyways, with that being said, register for Love Magnet, the 3-day free workshop, and see how you like it. And just get what you need from that. And then you can make your decision for the Be the Queen. But this will be linked in the show notes, all the things. I am ready to call in my love. I am really excited to have a partner to do life with. I was joking with myself the other day because I was like, wow, it's been 5 years since Love is Blind season 1 aired, and I am still single. I look at, everyone that was a part of that show, and not everyone, like there are other women that are also single and other men that did the show that are also single, but of the couples that made it to the altar, I think I'm the only one that is single still, and that's okay. Like that's literally okay. I'm okay with that. But it was just like something I was aware of. So, and I will be 40 this year, and I'm really excited about that. There's just a lot of really neat things on the horizon for me. And I know that this Love Magnet workshop is going to just, kick something else into high gear for me. And I'm currently going through the Be the Queen program. So I am already starting that whole process of just like transformation. Things that I've already noticed is that there's no more chasing energy. I really am in this space of surrender and listening to, my mom's words and everyone else's, like if they wanted to, they would, right? And so I'm not reaching out. If I have a romantic interest, I'm like really not reaching out. I'm waiting on them to come to me. And because I feel like that's just kind of how it happens. I mean, yeah, sometimes you got to like go after what you want, right? But there's maybe more subtle ways to do it. And I just like want to feel more grounded and at peace. And it's the work that I've done over the last handful of years that has gotten me there. So I hope that you join Love Magnet. You can get in the link in my bio on Instagram. It'll be in the show notes in the podcast. And I'm just really, really grateful that I have the opportunity to share this experience with you all, to share my journey with you guys, whether it be on TV or on my Instagram, and hopefully, I don't know what the universe has in store for me. But I'm excited to continue to share that journey with you guys and be vulnerable and be transparent and help create more impact and share my story so that we all can feel a little less alone in our journeys. So anyways, I just wanted to share all of that. Make sure that you check it out. And I really do hope that you catch the Love Magnet 3-day free workshop. But I love y'all. Have such a good night and thank you again. Love you. Bye.